Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the Book One Cozies Club chapter by chapter for Buried in a Book, the first book in the novel idea mystery series by Lucy Arlington. I'm Di, and this is my audio-only reading vlog for this book. Today, I will be reading chapters 3 and 4 and sharing my thoughts with you along the way. Due to the nature of this reading vlog, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't read these chapters yet, I would suggest that you do before continuing to listen to this vlog. If you would prefer to hear my general thoughts on this book in its entirety, keep an eye out for my Book One Cozies Club series First Impressions video, which will be posted sometime after the reading vlogs for this book have commenced. But for now, let's get to reading. So like I said, I will be reading chapters 3 and 4 tonight. I am filming a little bit earlier in the evening. It is about 6:40 p.m. My daughter is in an evening class and my mom got called into work, so I do have a little bit of time to myself earlier this evening. So I thought I would sit down with you and share my thoughts on this read a little bit earlier than I normally would be reading. So I'm going to dig into chapter 3 right now, and I will check back with you in a little bit. So I just finished chapter 3, and we obviously have our murder happen. I'm a little confused as to why as soon as she, and when I mean she, I mean Lila, didn't call 911 right away. That just seemed weird to me. Plus, she went right by Flora's office, I believe, down to her boss's office, and didn't stop to tell Flora, who, if I'm thinking the office is laid out the way I imagine it is, she would have had to pass Flora in order to go to the boss's office. And in an emergency situation like this one, it would have made more sense for her to stop at the nearest person's office and say, hey, I think there's something wrong with Marlette, or, immediately call 911 first, or yell from where she is, can somebody call 911? Does anybody know CPR? So that whole interaction there was a bit weird for me. Flora was also acting kind of weird, like that little snippy comment she made to Lila, when Lila was kind of saying that, he was Marlette, is that his name? Was a person, and then Flora had made that comment about, let me find it. When Lila had said, but no one saw him as a person, just a nuisance. And then Flora's comment was, it is terrible that we can become so immersed in our regular tasks that we ignore a person right under our noses. I'm reading that like she made that comment with a sense of malice, and I'm wondering if there's a backstory there, in regards to maybe an interaction she had with Marlette before. Just this whole chapter was a little bit weird, from Jude immediately saying, okay, I think he was murdered, to the way the boss just walks out with the client and expects Jude to go with her. I mean, somebody died in her office, and you don't think that the police are going to want to question you, especially with you being the boss of the agency. I don't know, everything in this chapter was just like, what are you doing? So anyway, I just finished chapter 3, like I said, it looks like Lila's going to go look for Marlette's manuscript. So I'm really curious to know what the manuscript says. I also found the little query that she had on her desk interesting as well, with it paralleling what happened in her office that day. Of course, it is, or it does have some spelling errors in it, but yeah, so I'm going to continue to chapter 4, and I will check back in with you in a bit. Okay, I just finished reading chapter 4. Wow, Lila's really getting a lot of dirt on some of the agents on her very first day. I found that quite interesting. That sandwich shop she visited for lunch sounded awesome. I totally would have gone for a Van Gogh, but all of the sandwiches sounded equally delicious. Being that it's pretty close, I guess, to her workplace, she will definitely be having the opportunity to try a few other sandwiches, I suppose. I really liked the whole naming of the customers thing that Big Ed, is that his name, had going on. And yeah, I do kind of like Lila's investigative style. Every so often when I'm reading cozy mysteries, the amateur sleuth's line of investigation, the way she questions people, comes off way too harsh. Like, the character doesn't weave the lines of questioning in well, so it's really obvious that they're digging for information. I don't find that I'm getting that feeling with Lila. And maybe it has to do with the fact that, she was a reporter, and so she knows how to be smooth about obtaining the information she wants to get. But yeah, so far so good. I'm still enjoying what I'm reading so far. She does seem to be getting information rather quickly. Obviously, from chapter 3, I had wondered if there was a history between Flora and Marlette, and it does seem like there is. Which the information we found out is kind of too bad, because I really liked Flora when we first met her. But now I'm kind of seeing her in a different light. And in Lila's day, it's only been a day, so that's unfortunate. I don't know. Yeah, I really liked Flora when we first met her, and I don't know if it was just because her name is Flora Merriweather, or how jovial she was when we met her, but it looks like there might be something in her and Marlette's past encounters that is worth looking into, worth questioning. And obviously we're being presented with other suspects as well, so that keeps the mind going. I'm glad not to be able to immediately jump to a preemptive conclusion about who the murderer might be. That is something that I dislike when reading mysteries, any mysteries, whether it be cozy mystery or a normal mystery, a regular, harder, more gritty mystery, I guess. I did find it weird that her boss didn't really lay down the rules of the land for the office before she left. knowing that it was Lila's first day and she doesn't really know anything, and she didn't leave instructions for someone to train her. It's just Lila's finding her own way. That was a little bit weird. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more tomorrow, and that's gonna do it for me tonight. So I will be back with you again tomorrow for chapters 5 and 6. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all having a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care, and smile always. Bye.